Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez has a very interesting season ahead, doesn't it? Liverpool fans are singing that they haven't got any money, but they're still going to win the league. Now, if that prophecy is to be true, one of the reasons will be because Darwin Nunez fulfills his potential. If Darwin Nunez becomes the player that some people think he can be, which is a 30-goal-a-season kind of striker, then Liverpool could indeed potentially win the league without needing to spend any more money. It's a long shot. It's a left field shout. But Liverpool have proved that they are capable of doing things against the odds in the past. I don't think Liverpool will win the league, but if Liverpool were to win the league this season, it wouldn't be the most severe obstacle that they've ever overcome. Liverpool as a club are capable of upsetting the odds. Think back to Istanbul, the cup final against West Ham when they were a Rizla paper away from losing the game. When they won the European Cup, cast your minds back to what happened in the Nou Camp. No club is capable of achieving the unlikely more than Liverpool Football Club. And if something mega happens at Liverpool Football Club this year under Arne Slot, whether it's domestically, whether it's in Europe, I think that Darwin Nunez could play a huge and pivotal role in achieving that success. Now, I'm not sure if any player in the history of the game has divided opinion as often as Darwin Nunez. Passionate discourse, intense debates, deep conversations, puff pieces on legacy media, all asking the question, is Darwin Nunez right for Liverpool? Is Darwin Nunez suited to the Premier League? Some fans absolutely love him, don't they? They suggest that he has the potential to be a ruthless finisher and an all-round class act of a footballer. Others see him as a wasteful striker, unaware of the offside rule, who causes more problems than he solves. It's brilliant, isn't it? Nothing inspires me more than opinions on football when we flex our analytical football muscle and we put our case forward. That is the point of being a football fan. It's the opinion, the debate, the conversation, and I truly love it. And Darwin Nunez is the instigator, the catalyst for some fantastic conversations. And it's a tale as old as time. There is nothing new about debating the merits of a footballer. It's part of the lifeblood of the game, but there is something very different about Darwin Nunez. When we debate Darwin Nunez, something happens that I'm not sure has ever happened ever before. He can conform to both stereotypes of his footballing ability in the same game. In fact, he can conform to the stereotype not only in the same game, but in the same exact move. So if you're celebrating Darwin Nunez and you think he's fantastic, somebody who disagrees with you will probably be able to find a flaw in the move that you're using to justify your case. Basically, you can see him do something dazzling, something unpredictable, something that only he can do. And he will get himself into a really good position, and then he will potentially do something atrocious to render the initial good work totally pointless. So you either have to be prepared to give him the credit for getting into the place in the first place, or you slander him for missing the chance. And I think that everybody can kind of appreciate a bit of both, which is why the conversation around Nunez is so rare, because it's so hard to make up our minds. He does so many good things, so many impressive things, that there has to be a player there, but then he misses sitters. So he needs to now find some rhythm. And last season, when he lit up St. James's Park at the beginning of the season, I thought that was going to be his year. It wasn't to be. But by the end of the season, it really didn't go his way. In the same season, you juxtapose those electrifying finishes at St. James's Park with the terrible performances against Manchester United, the atrocious miss against Jordan Pickford in the Merseyside derby, his performance against Atalanta, and all of that culminated in Jurgen Klopp dropping him from his final game in charge of Liverpool against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Anfield. Nunez didn't take that well. He actually took it to Instagram, which is now what people do apparently. Do you remember when Maddison and Maupay had an issue? They took it to Instagram. Darwin Nunez also took it to Instagram, and he deleted any pictorial evidence that he'd ever had any good times at Liverpool. Juvenile in its highest form. And I think we can deduce that the relationship with Jurgen Klopp soured. So whilst everyone would have been devastated at Anfield when Jurgen Klopp announced that he was leaving, maybe for Darwin Nunez, this isn't the bad news that it is for everyone else. Also, do me one favour just before we go any further. Please, will you click subscribe? If you're enjoying this video, please consider clicking subscribe. It really does help me out, and I would love to welcome you into this community. Thank you so much. Cheers. Maybe with Arne Slot's arrival comes opportunity. Arne Slot gives Darwin Nunez a blank canvas. Arne Slot won't be bothered about the miss that happened against Jordan Pickford in the Merseyside derby. He won't be thinking about what happened against Atalanta. It's totally irrelevant to Slot. So Darwin Nunez now has an opportunity that he must grab. And if he does, the impact on Liverpool could be enormous. And from what Arne Slot has said so far about Darwin Nunez, it all sounds very realistic and very plausible. He wants to help craft Darwin Nunez into what he calls a scruffy striker. Now, scruffy strikers today are not fashionable, but my God, they are wonderful. They're a gift to any football team. Everyone now is obsessed with beauty and aesthetics, but there is something truly wonderful about a scruffy striker. Arsene Wenger spoke really fondly, didn't he, once, about Franny Jeffers. He wanted his fox in the box. Arne Slot has identified Darwin Nunez as being his version of Franny Jeffers. And imagine what that would do to Darwin Nunez if he could score tap-ins, if he wasn't so reliant on spectacular goals. It would do his numbers the world of good. And there's nothing wrong with a tap-in. When did it change? When did we stop adhering to this philosophy? There's no such thing as a bad goal. It's impossible to score a bad goal. Sticking the ball in the back of the net is all that counts. Some of my favourite football players in the history of the game have all been scruffy strikers. And it's a really interesting situation because everyone needs this to work. Nunez needs this to work. Slot could really do with this working. Liverpool Football Club, the institution, they need this to work because there is no way that Darwin Nunez is worth anything like the 80 million quid that they spent on him now. In a very rare occurrence at Liverpool Football Club under FSG, they've actually signed a player who has decreased in value, but the potential is there and they believe that they can get it right. And that is why Liverpool will forcibly shut down any rumours that Darwin Nunez could leave the club. They know that he's only 25 years old. And I think they're terrified that what happened to Chelsea with Mohamed Salah could happen to them with Darwin Nunez. If they were to allow him to leave for a cut price fee, he could turn into one of the best strikers in the world. And if that were to happen, they would look so foolish. So they believe in him. They believe in Slot. And together, I think there is a chance that this could be perfect harmony. It would just be too embarrassing, wouldn't it? It would just be too embarrassing for Liverpool. They've given Nunez the chance. They've spent all that money on him. They've fine-tuned him. They've allowed him to perfect his craft. If he were to leave and go and ping in 30 goals a season for someone else, they cannot allow that to happen. And they won't. They believe that Arne Slot is the right man to fix those flaws. Like, he is only 25. And it's also important for us to acknowledge that he's an half been unlucky. But his numbers would be so much more impressive if he hadn't hit the post 14 times. 14 times in his Liverpool career he's hit the post. Imagine adding another 14 goals, or even 10 or 7 even, onto his tally. It does paint it in a very different light. He brings so much to a team. Pace, power, unpredictability. He gets fans on the edge of their seats. He ignites a stadium and played a big part as to why Liverpool did launch a serious and sustained bid for the Premier League title last year. Okay, you may also argue that his misses are the reason that they didn't win it, but being in the race was also down to Darwin Nunez. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all pans out. For Arne Slot, it's a gift. If he can turn Darwin Nunez into a polished centre-forward capable of scoring a bundle of goals in the Premier League, he will look like a genius, just as Jurgen Klopp did. Jurgen Klopp didn't sign Roberto Firmino. It wasn't his vision that brought him to the club. But Roberto Firmino is Klopp's man. Nobody sees Roberto Firmino as a Brendan Rodgers man. Klopp got him playing and reaped the rewards on his reputation. Arne Slot could do the same thing. He could benefit from the brilliance of Darwin Nunez if he gets him firing. And if he doesn't, Slot can almost say, well, it wasn't my man. For what it's worth, my opinion, I think Darwin Nunez undoubtedly deserves another year. I think he brings so much to the team. I like players like him. In an era where mercurial, unpredictable talents are often reined in, a speculative shot these days is more likely to get you substituted than applauded. Maverick footballers, may they live forever. Darwin Nunez, I hope it goes your way, son, and I hope that your success inspires a new generation of uncontrollable footballers. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Darwin Nunez could be the key to Liverpool's success this season? Really want to hear what you have to say. Also, do me a favour. If you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe. It would be my honour to welcome you into the community. Have a wonderful day. Ta-da.